Tonight, we get an update on how Devin Page's family is doing, but we start with a conversation about crime in the capital city. Roll it, Kyle. Well, we're deep into the summer, and I can tell you a lot of people are talking about crime here in the capital city region. So we wanted to have a discussion about it with the chief of our Baton Rouge Police Department and the deputy chief over Uniform Patrol, Troy Lawrence Sr., Murphy Paul, the chief of police. Gentlemen, how are y'all?
Pretty good.
Let's start with what's going on right now. Let's start at the beginning. What is the department doing to address what's been happening in the way of crime here, Chief?
Yeah, well, we've been focusing on those areas of concern, right? Data plays a lot in that, focusing on those small groups. We started Operation Red Stick. That's why we have Deputy Chief Troy Lawrence here to talk about those efforts and what we've been doing from an enforcement standpoint. We are seeing some areas, homicides have been averaging around 12% less than last year. So we're seeing some declines in that, and hopefully we can continue that trend through the summer and have a reduction in homicides. Overall calls for services, when I pulled the data, Clay, we were seeing some upticks, but what was interesting, if I look at, I try to follow these like on a 2-week period. If you look at the last 3 periods, so last 3 2-week periods, we're seeing decreases in overall calls for service. The areas of concern that we're seeing increases is auto thefts. Auto theft was the only one when you look at the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
Well, what's going on with that?
Well, when we look at the data, we broke it down in 2nd District. So the top 3 hot zones when it comes to not auto theft, auto burglaries. Let me clarify that. It's not auto theft, it's burglary of auto vehicles. 2nd District. So what we believe that there may be...
For the benefit of people who don't know, where is 2nd District?
Yeah, so if you look at the areas, we call it right there around East Boyd and River Bend is one of our areas, Thomas Delpit area. Those areas had the most burglaries. So that leads us to believe, based on some of our investigations, that it may be the same individual or group of individuals that involved in these burglaries. From January to June 21st, more than 180 guns were stolen outside of vehicles.
More than 180 guns were taken out of vehicles.
That's our burglary division has worked 180 burglaries where a gun was stolen from inside of a vehicle.
Well, Deputy Chief Lawrence, that number in itself is wow. But what have your guys been doing in Uniform Patrol, because you're over that division of the department?
So if you look at it, as the chief mentioned, the break-ins are occurring everywhere across the city, in bad neighborhoods, good neighborhoods. They're looking for guns. Guns drives up violent crime.
Right.
It drives up the homicide rates, the shootings that we have here in our city. And so we are saturating those areas with data, with technology. We're adding shot spotters in disinvested areas.
Right.
And with that, if we add layers to that, we're talking about crime cameras, license plate readers. So those layers of technology can actually help decrease the violent crime in our city in those disinvested areas.
What about the interaction with the community? I know that you've been very involved. The department has been in engaging parts of Baton Rouge. I got a little less than 2 minutes here, but what have you been doing to kind of build that rapport and get the community to start to talk more with you to help you bring these numbers down?
So we have our weekly community walks. Those locations are determined by data, and it's been helpful. We hear from the community on individuals who are involved in crime, locations of violent crime. Hillamore just sent me an article I read where nationally, right around 50% of the homicides are solved nationally. We're over those numbers right now. We've been averaging between 54, 56% on average in terms of our clearance rate for homicides. But we are seeing cooperation from the community. So those are some of the things that we continue to build on and working with the community to identify them. And look, it's not like we're not putting individuals in jail. And I know he can share that data with you. We are putting felons in jail for felonies, focusing on felons. And we're taking a lot of guns off the street as well. And we're going to continue to do that. We are going to catch the individuals that have been breaking into these cars and stealing guns. Our efforts are not just responsive. There's a lot of proactive efforts going on in investigations that I can't get into detail, but there is a lot of proactive activity that's going on, both overt and covert, to identify these individuals.
We'll take a quick break and come back and get into some of the numbers that Deputy Chief Lawrence brought with him. Talking with Chief Paul and Deputy Chief Lawrence, back to talk more about what we're doing about crime in the capital city in just a moment. So we wanted to give you some hard data on what the department has been doing, and Deputy Chief Lawrence did bring with him some numbers that we can share with you about what's been happening here. So let's start at the beginning. You kind of referenced it going into break. Chief Paul did. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Operation Red Stick started January 27th of this year. Chief Paul pretty much asked us to come up with a plan, a strategic plan to include our federal partners, state police, the DA's office, as well as our sheriff's department. And that collaborative effort is supposed to be driven by data and intelligence. The goal is to address the 6% of the individuals within our community that's causing 100% of the problems.
Right.
And that's through intelligence. And as a result of that, since January 27th, so roughly a 5-month period, we've made 957 arrests. Of those 957 arrests, 635 were felony arrests.
Wow.
We seized 332 guns off the streets of Baton Rouge. 63 were stolen. So that brings us back to the break-ins, the burglaries within our communities.
Right.
Guys stealing guns to use those guns for different types of violent crimes within our community. We've also executed 57 search warrants. So those efforts is part of a collaborative effort between everybody. And that's something that we didn't do last year. This is a start. Hopefully, with the success that we're seeing, we can keep it going, because it's a model that we're trying to develop and try to continue, throughout our community. So hopefully we can see it pass beyond August the 1st.
So nearly 1,000 arrests
Yes.
since the end of January.
That's just part of that operation. That's
And that's not overall. That's just
correct. That's not
this
overall.
particular.
Absolutely, that's just Operation Red Stick. And look, when we look at our sheriff's office, sheriff's office has been doing a really good job targeting those mid to upper level drug dealers that are involved in drug activity in the parish. But one thing we're seeing, the challenges with homicides, the challenge with crimes is getting cooperation. And look, there's a legitimate fear that some people have to come forward. They sit on information. They may be willing to give us that information, but not necessarily be willing to testify in a court. And cameras have become our new witnesses. Cameras are allowing us to identify individuals. We're gathering evidence through video evidence from cameras that are placed around the city. And those cameras are helping us identify suspects. So it's working with that, using that technology to the best through our real-time crime center, which we've been leading the way on that, and we're going to continue to strategically place cameras throughout our city.
So one of the more recent stories that played out in the news here was about all the street racing going on across Baton Rouge, and I know that you've got some information about that as well, correct?
Yes. So that was an issue since COVID started last year. Of course, with businesses being closed, young men not having anything to do, last summer they wreaked havoc across the nation, including Baton Rouge. And as a result, we had to formalize an auxiliary team or part-time team of officers dedicated just to address the street racing within our city. We've seen them as far as Seagan Lane, off Choctaw, the Cox Cable parking lot on Florida and Lobdell. So different areas where they can actually stop and start racing, burnouts with donuts. Right. You know, we've received so many calls every day from citizens complaining about that issue. So I'm not sure if you guys seen a recent video in New Orleans where guys took over a city, jumping on top police cars.
Yeah.
The following week, we had data and intelligence that they were coming back to Baton Rouge to do the exact same thing. With the help of the city council's office, state police, we was able to actually negate those efforts. We've issued 56 citations, seized 6 firearms from the street racing event right here on Plank Road in Baton Rouge. Made 2 fugitive arrests and 11 felony arrests.
So, you know, it's important for people to know that you are indeed doing something about what's happening on the streets. And people are tired of it, man. They're tired of the crime. They're tired of the nuisances like this. And people are speaking up, Chief.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, Crime Stoppers, you know, our partnership with Crime Stoppers, you can remain anonymous. But let me tell you, these community walks, we're getting a lot of information from individuals. We're getting information from our faith-based community as well in helping. So everybody's trying to do their part. And here's what we like to tell. You may be sitting on information you may not think is valuable. Take the time, pick up the phone, call Crime Stoppers or call us. Give it to someone who can bring that information. The more information we get about those individuals who are involved in violent crime in our city, the more we can continue to build cases against those individuals. So don't think that information isn't valuable. Take the time, pick up the phone, call us, let us know.
So we're going to come back and spend another segment talking with Chief Paul about what's happening with the department. And we're going to talk with Devin Page's grandmother. All that still to come. Stay right where you are. Wanted to come back and do another segment with Chief Paul. We talked a lot, Chief, about some of the numbers and progress the department has made, but just really wanted to spend some time with you asking you, how is the department? How are the men and women of the Baton Rouge Police Department?
Well, you know, when I look at where we are, still a lot of work to do. You know, we've been fortunate in our recruiting and retention efforts. You know, we started 29 in our training academy right now. We've actually lost 4. Obviously, it's intense training. A lot of discipline goes on in that process. Some of our young citizens realize that law enforcement isn't just for them. So we've lost 4. But look, we've got 7 police officers from other police agencies who want to come and serve in our city that are coming over. In fact, we have interviews today to finalize that. I believe we have about 2 or 3 police officers who left the job and want to come back. So I see that as real positive things. You know, when I look at recruiting and retention efforts in other places, you see it's more challenging. I think we're going to have one of the lowest turnover ratios by the end of this year when we start our next academy class. So those are the things I focus on. I think, but nationally, we're starting to see some upticks in police morale. Obviously, pay is a challenge for that. We've been working with the administration on identifying more fundings to get our officers where they need to be.
You know, you mentioned morale, and there's been a whole lot of conversation about the morale of the department. So candidly, what What is the morale of the people, the men and women, and across the board who are working for you at BRPD?
Yeah, well, look, it's challenged nationally. I don't think that's unique. I think when we saw this with some of the reform efforts that were going on nationally, we didn't experience some of that. I think when you look at our turnover ratio, when you look at our recruitment efforts, it's better. But there's challenge. I think one of the challenges that we have is you have toxic individuals who have a platform.
Yep.
We don't pay attention to that. That's distractions. I think most educated, reasonable, fair-minded people can navigate through that fake news and
it's so bad now,
misinformation that's out there, and we focus. We hear from officers that they like the direction that we're going, but even more so, we hear from the community. And look, Clay, you look at the Baton Rouge Police Department and where we are, and we're seeing other agencies are asking for our policies. Other agencies are putting training together that we already implemented. We didn't have to make any changes because of the laws that were changed in the legislative session. We chose progress in the police department. And now you're seeing so many other police departments with body cameras, with procedural justice training, with citizen academies.
Right.
And I can go on with things that we have taken a lead on, and we're starting to see a lot of police agencies in Louisiana follow that lead. And that's something I think my team and I are proud of, and that's something the men and the women of the Baton Rouge Police Department should be proud of.
I've often said that we have a great community
Yeah.
with really great people. This is a good town. And the nature of some of the dialogue, particularly on social media, is so destructive, and it doesn't help us get to where we want to be in terms of getting bad actors off the streets, and protecting the families. We're going to talk to the grandmother of that little angel that's on the pictures on the set. I think people realize it's serious out here, and to trivialize this and make it into just social media fodder doesn't do anybody any favors.
Yeah, well, look, negative news travels further and faster on social media, but we have to stay focused on the mission, right? With reducing crime, with working in the community. So I don't pay attention to a lot of those distractors. I think, if we lose focus of that, it takes us off path, but I'm still excited about the future of the city of Baton Rouge.
We appreciate you, Chief. We're going to come back and talk with Cathy Toliver, the grandmother of Devin, here, and get an update on how things are going. Back in just a moment. Cathy Toliver is the grandmother of Devin Page Jr., a great friend of mine for a great number of years, and you were here after what happened to Devin, and we've kept his picture on the set, as I told you we would, until this whole thing is concluded, and we're going to hold to that. First of all, I just want to ask, how are you?
One breath at a time. It is hard. Thank you. I want to first of all thank you. The last time I was on, I had so many calls from people everywhere saying they saw my grandson's picture on your show. Thank you for that, because that's helping us keep him alive and keeping the movement. So from the depths of our heart, we want to thank you.
I know that when you were here before, you talked about your daughter and how she was trying to maintain and deal with this, and some weeks have gone by. How is she?
I can say this openly because there were so many other mothers who have approached us in the same situation with my daughter. But my daughter, the pain is so extreme for her that she was contemplating suicide. And it's, we're monitoring her, helping her because it's overwhelming. She feels like she needs to go save her son because she felt like she couldn't save him from being in the house when they blew his brains out.
We talked about this when you were here before. You're not new to activism in this community. I mean, we met doing some of that stuff more than 20 years ago, and now that you have almost been repurposed in your direction, because it's not like you're just doing this now. Tell me how that has been. How have you looked at your role here?
When I tell you now, everything is different. The game has changed. So what we're doing now is I'm starting this campaign. I was forced to start it because, you know, of what happened to my grandson. And, you know, I have to take my anger and my rage and put it in package it into something. So what we're doing now is we're doing a campaign, and we're calling it Save 5, or Help 5, Save 5. You know, Help 5, Save 5. Help 5 people, you know, help 5 people to save 5 people. And so with that, what we're going to do is, it doesn't matter, just take a few minutes out of your day, call 5 people up, even if it makes sure that 3 of the 5 are young people. Call 5 people up, whether it's daily, whether it's weekly, call them up. Let's help 5, save 5, you know.
You've got some events coming up this year. I want to spend some time talking about that.
Yeah.
Tell me what's coming up this year.
So July
22nd, is it?
July 22nd.
Yeah.
We're going to do a community concert.
Okay.
And that's going to be a time of healing in the community. And it's going to be at Charity Christian Center. They said they wanted to host it. And I'm like, thank God for that. And then the mayor, November 19th, we're going to do this big dinner for anybody in the community that would like to come. Yeah, and you just have to have a ticket. It's free. And we're working on bringing Ricky Smiley to help everybody laugh. And then at the end of that, you know, of course, then some of our community leaders are going to be there. You're going to be there. And then at the end, I'm just going to do a brief spoken word of encouragement that we can start the ball rolling for healing in our community.
You know, I think because we see what goes on across the country in the way of violence, that the public can become numb to the face of this, right? And one of the things that I've always wanted to do, one of the reasons why I wanted to keep Devin's picture on the set, was that people not lose focus of the other side of this, that these are numbers on a paper, but they're connected to actual real people. If you could say to the public something that would keep them engaged and make them not just ignore it, what would you say?
Let me just be directly. I don't know what camera, because I'm a
that one
face
right there.
person. Let me just say to your face. Let me tell you. I say this all the time. Until it knocks on your door, you don't get involved. You won't say a word. Let me tell you. Just this week, we've had people to come and say some certain things have happened to them, and so they wanted me to get involved to help them. And so we're asking you to help us, not just us, but other people who are in situations that need help. I would say to you, I'm creating a mirror so that you can see what could happen to you. You know, we didn't expect this to happen to us. We're good people. So we're saying to you, if you're dealing with something or you're facing something, talk to somebody. Excuse me. That's why we're saying help 5, save 5. Help 5, save 5.
Well, look, I appreciate the work that you're
Yes.
doing. And obviously, before the event next month on the 22nd, we'll get you to come back again and talk with us again. Cathy, I love you. Anything we can do to help you, you know we'll do it.
You've proven that, Clay. You are just awesome, and they know you out there.
Well, listen, we're going to keep you up with what's happening with Devin's family. This is a great, great platform for us to be able to help our community, and we're going to keep doing it. See you next week right here on The Clay Young Show.